All right, what's up, everybody? Time for episode 294 of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. I'm Kyle Newell. And in case you didn't know that, maybe this is your first time. Last episode, I talked about the first 5 years of Newell Strength. It took us up to 2012. Today, I'm going to cover from that point up to now. So basically the last 10 years of Newell Strength and where we're at, how it came to be, that type of thing. So let's think here. I believe I left off 2012. Now, in case I didn't mention this, or even if I did, just kind of give us a segue to 2012. I went out, so I had a very bad case of pneumonia that spring, April, early April. 2 weeks later, I was playing in a men's basketball league, completely blew out my right leg. Patellar tendon snapped in four, so it was not an avulsion fracture. The tendon did not simply come off the bone. The tendon actually ripped into four pieces in the middle. 5 ligaments, knee capsule, IT band. Devastating injury. Needless to say, I was in a wheelchair for a while. I actually wrote a book on the whole process to become a best-selling book in the world, which is how I've become one of the leading experts in patellar tendon ruptures in the world, because I actually did it to my left knee a couple of years later. Same exact thing. But anyhow, there's video that we have on the YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel from back then, where I would be in the gym in a wheelchair coaching people. I didn't teach the remaining April, May, or June of that school year. I was still a teacher, but I got a medical leave. So I did not teach the remaining part of that year. And made it to that summer, still rehabbing my knee. It was really taking a mental toll on me because even coming into that fall, I still only had like 70 degrees range of motion in my leg, which was scary because I didn't think, having a physical career, that I was ever going to be able to walk normally again. Forget about playing basketball, doing jiu-jitsu, competing in bodybuilding. It was just normal everyday stuff I was thinking of. So that fall, however, it was October, I went out to Arizona to a mastermind meeting. A guy that I had met at a Dan Kennedy meeting, he was a lawyer, Dave Freeze, great dude. Met him at a Dan Kennedy seminar in Atlanta the year prior. Said, hey, come out and hang at the mastermind. There was like 12 business owners from around the country. Nothing to do with fitness. Everybody was in a different field. And on one of the breaks, so we're out in like Tempe, I believe, Tempe, Arizona, this girl comes up to me. Remember, it was a Chinese girl, real cool. Didn't know, never spoke to her again. And she says, you have to stop teaching. I said, what do you mean? Because again, I was still teaching at the time. She goes, it's holding you back. You're not giving everything you can to the gym. I said, man, maybe you're right. And me and Devin had already been thinking this. Now, mind you, I was about a year away from being vested in the pension system, 7.5 years in maybe at this point. So we thought maybe I was going to go another 2 years, right? 2 years or so. Then maybe I could resign from teaching and do the gym full time. So Devin picks me up at the airport, and I tell her the conversation that I have with this girl. And Devin goes, she's right. Let's do it. Like, oh man, there was no resistance there. It would have been easy if she said, no, you can't do it, because there was a lot of fear with that, right? Making that decision. It was still the hardest decision of my life. So the next week, I talked with my principal. So I always act fast when I have an impulse and I know in my gut that it's right. I act very, very quickly on it usually. Talk with my principal, came to tears with that. By the end of that week, when I'm back, I hand my letter of resignation in to the superintendent. You got to give 60 days notice. Now I know there's no going back. I'm going through Christmas break, and then I'm done teaching. Well, that weekend, so this is the next weekend, I'm at Vince, who's become a great friend of mine and has been a mentor and a business coach for me for the past 10 years since that time. I go to his first mentorship. So I hand the letter of resignation in that Friday. It's now that Sunday, and they're saying, guys, there's like 10 of us there. We're going to get you out of here early today. I'm like, why are you getting us out of here early? It's in Berkeley Heights. Well, that big storm is coming in. And I was oblivious. I don't watch the news or anything. What storm? Hurricane Sandy's coming up, man. It's going to be like a 1 in 500 year storm. I'm like, all right, whatever. So we get out of there early. Storm hits that Sunday night. Needless to say, school is canceled for the entire next week. So remember, I just handed my letter of resignation in. I go into the gym that next day, that Monday, to make sure that everything's okay. The roof, literally, I have pictures of this, got peeled back. The only place in the whole industrial park, the roof got peeled back. Gym is destroyed. I mean, you could go in there, but water everywhere, underneath the mats. Walls are destroyed. And I'm like, holy cow. I just handed my letter of resignation in, and now the gym is destroyed. So that was a sign, a test from God. Right? I could have gone scurrying back and begging the superintendent, oh, maybe I want to keep it. No. I said, no, you got to have faith and stay the course. So we wound up moving the gym to the other side of the building temporarily to this hellhole. This thing was not a nice unit. It's a big, giant vent duct in the ceiling, but it's exposed to the sky. I mean, it had a vent, but you could see the sky. It was freezing in there because now we're coming into November. And I'm looking at units to move. You know, I had no plans of that at that point. Knowing that the impending resignation's coming up, bring my father-in-law to look at this unit that they wanted to show me, 3,000 square feet, so double the overhead and rent. Looked great, but I was like, hopefully he's going to talk me out of it, just stay with something small. He's a conservative guy. We go and look. He looks at me and goes, well, go big or go home. This is what you wanted. All right. So that's what I did. Signed the lease. Wound up moving into that spot right about when I resigned. It was right around New Year's Eve, like right when I was officially done. And at that point, Gabe and Drew were also leaving. So Drew is another coach, still a good friend. Is down got a fitness center business down in personal training business down in New Orleans. Gabe was leaving to take a job with the San Diego Padres, strength and conditioning. They both tell me they're leaving. Okay, so I find this other guy, real nice guy. So he starts coaching with me. So now I'm focused full time on this business. Fast forward, let's see, about a year. I realize it's not working out with this other guy. No fault of his own. It just wasn't the right fit, right? And every time that I've had to part ways with somebody, it's just every relationship ends. Every single relationship in your life is going to end. But it was the first guy I ever had to fire, which was hard. If you never fired somebody, it can suck. Now, I've done it multiple times. Never really gets easier, to be honest with you. But if you're in a position of leadership, that's the name of the game. You can't hide from stuff when things are not a good fit. What was holding me up at that point from letting him go was the thought of, man, I'm going to have to go back to coaching every single session and trying to build the business. So, and I came to the realization that don't matter. You can do it. You've done it before. Well, right at that time, as soon as I let him go, this is the way God works. Dana, Coach Dana, who's been with me the longest, she had been a member for a little bit. I was mentoring her, and she would ask about internships, and she would never really follow through on it. She reaches out again via email, literally the same day. I say, hey, funny enough, come in tomorrow. I might have something. She comes in. I said, look, you want the job? It's yours. Just kind of threw her into it. I said, let's hang out with me, see how I coach, see what we do here. So she's hired. This is going back to 2013 or 14. Okay? Then now it's me and Dana. And she's been with us ever since. You know, been with me, I should say. I mean, she's, hold on a second, guys. I think I lost you on Facebook. Let's get you back. Sorry about that, Facebook. There we go. So Dana's been with me ever since. Mike came on shortly after. It was 2014. Coach Mike has come on with us. Now we got, you know, and those are two of the core team members. Many of you know them or are familiar with them. 2015, find out Devin's pregnant. I remember there was a Friday night she came to the gym to tell me, and my head was spinning. I mean, we wanted to be pregnant, but my head was going, trying to get my head around, okay, you might be a father coming up, which is really just jet fuel for the business. Around that same time, so the next year, I should say, we decided we're going to expand Hillsboro into the next unit, which is now the current unit, take on another 3,000 square feet for baseball batting cages, and just not a smart choice. We're looking back on it, but it all worked out. But that's how you learn, right? Take that on, but it's a lot of stress. We had this baseball guy renting from us, and just not a good cultural fit. The energy started, over the next couple of years going a little bit the wrong way in the gym because it was too big, right? We couldn't manage it, the flow and all that stuff. So we do expand, though. We expand, so now we got 6,000 square feet. And then the opportunity comes up to buy a unit in Flemington. It was another area we wanted to get into because we had some clients coming from out that way, but it's just a little too far. So we wind up in 2017 or so buying the units we have now in Flemington. We opened in, I believe, 2018. So just had our 3-year anniversary this fall. Again, a lot of energy. Even though it was less than when I started Hillsboro, when you're starting something from scratch, it takes a tremendous amount of energy. So pretty much me and Mike over there. Peaches, helped us a lot, set that up. Peaches was a big part of the team. There's a lot of people on the team that I may forget to mention, or they may just not come up, but everybody's been an integral part in building Newell Strength. So we get that going. So at this point, we have 2 kids. I'm pretty much stay-at-home dad, though, because Devin's still teaching. Actually, after Colty, she resigned, but it was kind of me being at home with Braxton, trying to work on the business. She'd get home from teaching. I would work when he was napping, pass him off to Devin, go to the gym, coach, oversee stuff over there. Now, I forget, 2014, I knew this was going to happen because stuff is just popping up into my head. We go back to 2014, coming off that knee injury. I decided I'm going to compete in bodybuilding again to kind of use it as a comeback and put that injury behind me. And Devin had never seen me compete. And that's actually when I started my fasting journey, which is, maybe I'll go over in next week's podcast, how that came to be. 2014, though, I compete that fall, November, playing in the men's basketball league. As I already mentioned, same exact thing happens to my left knee. Devastating injury. My surgeon couldn't believe it, that it happened to me twice. It's a very rare injury as it is. It happens twice. Remember that night, I cried for like 5 minutes, feeling sorry for myself. And Devin's like, nope, you ain't feeling sorry for yourself. Let's go. And I got to put all my theories to the test. But that was another challenge, right? Recovered much quicker that time. So anyway, we go on to Flemington. We got 2 kids, trying to get pregnant with another child. That was our wish. We weren't like forcing it. It was just our wish. Devin had a miscarriage. And, we're dealing with that. And then she's like, just put your focus on Flemington. Go back on your testosterone therapy. Because I come off testosterone because we wanted to get pregnant. But it helps with my energy and my mind and all that stuff. Again, another topic for another episode. Get Flemington going. Get that going, up and running. Take, my time in Hillsboro was severely limited then. So I was trying to figure out how do you balance these 2 things, right? Learning how to be a better leader, learning how to, all the holes within the business and whatnot. But they're both doing well this day. Now, the other thing, obviously, you had COVID coming up. I was in I was in Orlando a week before the craziness of COVID started. And now, mind you, my belief on all this, I knew something was fishy from that January. I was following the data, following stuff I was reading on alternative news. I said, something don't seem right with this. And we had decided at that point, though, when I was down in Orlando, that we were going to downsize Hillsboro, and to downsize the staff, downsize everything, get it back to being lean and mean, and get back to the original energy that was there. And the lease was going to be up December of 2020. So I tell them, hey, we're shutting one side down. We had to decide what side we're going to keep open. But we'd already made that decision, then COVID hits. Shut down. A lot of funny stuff within that situation. Looking back on it, I mean, Rutgers football was training with us during that time. And I'm playing along, keeping the gym shut. We're doing the online stuff. But again, my gut says that something seems nuts with this. Didn't buy into it at all, guys. And that May, I had seen something. It was May 4th. So I'm telling you, because confident in telling you we were the first gym in the state to publicly announce what we were doing. You have the gym down south. That's a different story. But we made the announcement May 4th because I saw that LA County and Los Angeles was extending lockdowns through August, and I just sensed people were losing hope. So me and Devin talked. I said, I want to open the gym. This is BS. Let's open it, give people a place of hope, give people a sense of normalcy. Go back and forth. Some of my buddies, local police officers, tell me not to open. You're going to get in trouble. And I say, whatever. I don't care. I made the announcement in a Facebook group, Open New Jersey Facebook group or something, that I was, hey guys, I'm opening on, it was May 12th, okay, when I made that announcement. We decided May 4th, May 12th, and the thing goes viral. Like that night, it's got like 10,000 views, 500 shares, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. I did not do this for attention at all. So obviously your nerves get going. I'm like, all right. And again, I wasn't trying to hide it because a lot of my buddies just open, do it on the down low. And I said, that's not the point. This is to give people hope and to show people that you can stand up to this nonsense. So make the decision, get it open. Understandably, a lot of the staff was nervous. Talked with my lawyer, all that, assured them that they would be fine. Nobody really knew what to expect. But after that announcement, May 12th, Fox News reaches out. I want to be on Fox News that Saturday. So do that. Now everybody knows. Now I got I was probably on 10 to 15 different news outlets that week. Have all the links saved. It's really a unique experience. We do that by that Wednesday. Open that Monday. It's like a rally out in the parking lot. Just crazy. I made a podcast about that in May. I'm not going to go into the whole thing right now. There's still stuff I haven't shared with people about that, but I think at this point, maybe next time I do a podcast about that specific instance, I will share everything. Just wanted to protect people's privacy and whatnot, and how certain people really went to bat for us behind the scenes. But we wound up opening. First gym in the state to be officially open within 3 days. So that Thursday, open by the governor's announcement. It was a really high-level meeting that happened between us and me and the county and the state. So that leads us to the present day. And now I realized, Devin's back to teaching at Braxton School, private Christian school. And just in the past month or two, I've been able to really dive back in and become full-time owner and entrepreneur again. And it's cool because now I'm 40 years old. I feel like I'm starting over in many ways, but with a different mind, a different spirit, right? So it's a really neat, I was journaling about that this morning, really neat place that I feel that I'm at in life where I can build upon the foundation we have, in some ways get back to the original stuff, right? And about a year ago, February, I started taking on a few one-on-one clients, very limited, just to get me back in there, to see what was going on, to experience that, to get connected with my passion again. So that's where we're at, guys. That's where we are at. Real excited for this year and going forward. It's been an up and down ride, but know if you want to do something, you can do it. And if you put your mind to it, the persistence and the discipline, if you act with that every single day, you cannot be stopped. But if you think it's going to be a quick process, you ain't going to succeed. So that is the history of Newell Strength up to this point. You all have a great day. Thank you for all the support. Keep your eyes out for events we got coming up this month, next month, March. All good stuff. And hit the thumbs up or hit the like button. And thank you for your support, guys. Peace.